You're listening to The Fatboy Show, and it's your number one station, RX Radio. Hoping that you are having a beautiful Thursday. My gosh, the days are going by so fast. It's already literally the end of November, yo. It is the 23rd. We just have about a week to go before we kiss it goodbye and usher in the month of Christmas, the month of December 2023. Well, I'm here for it, and I'm very excited about that. I'll tell you what else I'm excited about this Thursday morning. I can't believe that Ugandans have proven me right. We have an affinity for the more trivial and spicy topics of discussion rather than the more serious ones.
Indeed.
Now, quite often people have complained about the content in the media and also on social media, the kind of things we consume. And people have come out to say, as Ugandans, we perhaps need to focus on more developmental issues and topics. And for us in the media, we, the personalities, when we try to engage in these conversations, we unfortunately find ourselves facing the fact that our audiences tend to gravitate more towards our content when the content is a lot more basic and a lot more trivial and a lot more sex-oriented, rather than when it's more substantive and about more serious issues. So let me be specific. Yesterday we were talking about on this show, Nyash. We're talking about Nash, right? Now, obviously that conversation got a lot of feedback. People seem to love delving into that topic.
People are so concerned about Nyash.
Very concerned about it. And we had the conversation because of a tweet that I had put out yesterday, in which I retweeted someone who had posted a video of a woman with a huge, juicy behind. And I quoted the tweet, retweeted it by saying, look, am I the only guy that doesn't care about Nyash? Nyash only looks nice in tight jeans when everything is neatly compacted in the denim fabric to give a rounded, smooth, shapely look. But when those jeans come off, trust me, you may not always like what you see. Now, I shot that tweet off at random. I didn't think anyone would care. But
you're surprised. I was also so shocked. I saw the
but
feedback.
The tweet is approaching 1 million impressions. 1 million impressions on Twitter. My goodness.
That shows you where the attention of Ugandans is.
It's insane that I have received this many impressions on a tweet about a rather trivial topic, and yet I will post tweets about more substantive issues or, more thoughtful opinions about things happening in the world and in this country and in society. And those ones barely register a blip.
People don't really pay attention.
I'll be
such.
lucky to get 1,000 impressions
Indeed.
on a tweet where I'm talking about something serious. Sometimes I'm even in, like 100 impressions. Like, people don't care. But now when I voice an opinion about Nyash, almost 1 million impressions.
Almost 1 million impressions. And
Crazy.
Everyone is talking about it. I was like,
crazy.
Wow,
So
this is what people now have to talk about in order, to have
right?
an engaging social media platform
And-
to have people's attention. I'm like,
And this is what is so tragic. So I have been engaged in a number of instances as an influencer by different organizations. And usually, like, when they gather us together for like a briefing, they'll tell us to be mindful of the brand that we are representing and to sort of keep it nice and
decent
clean,
clean.
and kind of thing, right? And then they will say that during the period that we are influencing for them, that our general posts also somehow remain within the bounds of
the brand.
So in other words, they don't want you to get too crazy, talk about your own crazy stuff while you're representing them, even if you're not talking about their brand specifically.
But your own personal things should
also be toned down.
Okay.
And to that, I find a great irony is because these organizations and companies, they approach influencers because they want to generate interest in their campaigns.
Yeah.
But the only way people are interested in things on social media is when the topics are a bit risky.
Like risky, controversial. That's when you really catch people's attention on X. But besides that, if you come with more sensitive, serious issues, you won't really get a lot of feedback. People just, pass by and walk away and won't say anything to you.
Exactly.
And to what you're saying, the brands also need to understand that other side of things. Like, if you as an influencer, you really want the attention of the people that are following you, or the people that are on X.
Yeah.
And the only way, based on what we're seeing and what we're still to see,
Thank you.
Because honestly, in just okay, it's now hitting to how many hours when you put that post there?
Maybe 48 hours.
You see what has generated. Yeah. That just shows you where the attention is and what people want to talk about.
It does, doesn't it? And so for the brand managers who like are very sensitive about these things and like, oh, we don't want our brand to be. The fact is, if you want, to utilize influencers on social media who have any impact, these are going to be people who typically are engaging in activities and conversations that
are happening.
That are happening around, and they may not be the most decent
and appealing in a sort of way with their brands.
Right.
So, but they have to know that this is where their attention is. This is where they're able to approach people, have people's views or attention
and engagement. That's another point, is engagement. Indeed. Because so typically an agency will say, all right, so hello, Mr. Influencer, welcome on board. So these are the talking points, these are the hashtags, promote the brand, promote the campaign, this and that. And typically we are constrained into posting things that are, I'm just going to be direct. They tend to be a bit bland. They tend to be safe, if I should say. They tend to be safe. And so what ends up happening is that those safe posts don't really generate a lot of interest by your followers, because usually, they are your followers in the first place because you say crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, crazy stuff is what people want to talk about. Look at Sheila.
Sheila Gashumba.
Yeah? Look at Sheila.
Thank you.
What's there that Sheila really does with her social media platform?
Right. So when she's talking about
if
brand,
she's talking something serious,
no one cares.
Want to know about that.
No one cares. Low engagement.
No one cares.
She has at this point 800, almost 900,000 followers. But if she's tweeting about a brand, she'll be lucky to get 5,000 impressions. With an almost 1 million follower count. And yet, if she just shoots out a tweet where she's maybe dissing somebody,
dissing someone, or in some nude kind of pictures.
Then boom, it goes viral. So I don't know. Maybe these brand managers
they also need to consider that. They need to see what generates attention. It shouldn't just be about them as the brand.
So they might
what they stand for, but also let them see what is on X, what is on these pages that these guys are influencing on.
I think it's important going forward. Like if they really want their campaigns to have an impact, because look, influencers are paid good money, and the question is, are these advertisers getting, or these companies, are they getting a return on that money that they're spending? What good is it to spend millions on an influencer and then you force them to tone down their content to be as uninteresting as possible, and then it gets no engagement? Then you're going to turn around and say, influencers don't work.
Don't work.
The reason is you didn't let the influencers.
They need to understand
influence.
They need to understand the dynamics and how this thing is operating. That's it.
I saw Sheila put out a tweet complaining
that she's now quitting.
No, she was dissing the what are these guys called? Uganda Travel UTB.
Yeah, Uganda Tourism Board.
She was complaining. She basically had tweeted out this video of Trevor Noah doing a promo video for South African tourism. And then she was saying, wow, this is how it's done, guys. And then she continued by saying, and this is the problem with Uganda. Because what happened is that people asked her, hey, but didn't you influence for Uganda tourism? Your campaign was fake. So don't be lecturing Ugandans on how it's supposed to be done. Yet when you did it, it was useless. To which she said, look, I had my ideas, but
they didn't buy my
ideas. And they're the ones that made me do these boring campaigns. And if you recall, the campaign she did was, I remember the ones I saw where she was just standing in the middle of the road, I think with a sign that says, Visit Uganda or something like that. Right?
So boring.
And she's right. Extremely boring.
True.
And
these guys want to set the conditions. They want to set the terms of how everything should flow, but they don't know how the other side of things operate.
They don't know how the internet works.
They're
still operating like it's 1990. Look, things have changed.
And they want to bring the corporate kind of environment onto the internet environment.
Because a lot of these executives sort of climbed through the ranks in the decades past.
Yeah.
So, and I think they've brought with them that mentality. So they're like, no, don't say that, our brand. Don't say this, our brand. Instead of thinking in terms of, hey, if we let this guy or girl say something naughty and people engage with the posts.
Just like what UBL did with her.
Exactly. So I think they should be more willing to take risks and loosen the reins on the influencers so that they might enjoy more impact. Because imagine if a company I influence for would allow me to venture into these risky areas, they'd find themselves riding the wave of a tweet with 1 million impressions, possibly.
Indeed.
But they're gonna say, no, just keep it safe.
Keep it safe. Don't go to extreme and all that.
Just tell people the price, where to buy things. Tweet out the hashtag.
People don't want to know about that. You have to come in another way. You have to come in another sort of, impression to catch people's attention.
Yeah.
But imagine right here if maybe this was also like let's relate it with a Snoop scenario and how that generated attention for him.
Right.
If you're influencing for a brand right now and maybe this was just a step to catching people's attention and it did catch people's attention, then out of the blue you go back on the same post.
Yeah.
And then you talk about a brand.
Then you think that'll have more of an impact.
People will still track. They will still want to follow around with what's happening with it.
So I think, at least what I'm saying is, and I'm saying this from a place of love, I think, people just need to open their minds a little bit more and to just accept the fact that, look, society where people are very trivial and we like trivial things.
So make people happy,
let's embrace
make
it.
people talk, make people, I was just going through even the comment sections. I was like, oh my goodness.
It's insane. But that's what you get. So, wow, I don't know how many more impressions that tweet will get and how much more traction it'll get. But it certainly caught me by surprise. It's just one of those things. But
immediately I saw it, I was like, this here, people are going to talk. And indeed.
They did. They just jumped on it and carried it away. And to anyone who's aspiring to be like an influencer, you want to be big on social media, you need to treat it as a full-time job. As in, I will spend hours just sitting down thinking, okay, what can I post today that I think would be interesting? And I will post maybe in a day 20 different things, throwing everything at the wall, seeing what sticks. And sometimes nothing sticks. And so you post your 20 things on Facebook or Twitter and no one cares, right? But then you keep doing that and boom,
you get that.
You hit that sweet spot and you have a post that kind of goes viral. Bloggers pick it up. It's screenshotted and shared in Facebook groups. And
in days ahead, you may see a blog come through.
Yeah, and that's just how you do it. But it's a grind. You just keep grinding. And you just put your stuff out there.
Attention, indeed. Full-time attention.
Full-time attention. And in this modern age, it's inescapable. You kind of have to put in the work. You will not just by accident blow up on social media. No. You have to put in the work. So whether you're an artist, musician, or even if you're a professional, or you're for example, nutritionists or counselors or whatever it is you do, even if you run a restaurant, you kind of have to be active in that space. Otherwise, you're going to get left behind. So
the era we're in today is the internet era. That's where everything is happening. That's where the attention is.
Yeah.
That's where businesses are running to. So if you're silent there, then you're definitely out.
Yep.
Of the society of the world.
It's obviously a fun, thing to do and to be involved in. It has its ups and downs, like with everything in life,
Indeed,
pluses and minuses, pros and cons. But you're better off doing it than not. You will definitely reap the benefits, down the road.
True.
So just think about that as we go about enjoying our beautiful Thursday here on your number one station, RX Radio.